Hello friends. Welcome to Sama Saturday. Amanda Ree back here with you. We're always talking every weekend about holistic wellness for your dogs and humans. Everything pretty much always applies across the board. Hope you're all doing great today, and I have a whole setup here. I'm all ready for you. We are talking about natural flea prevention today. So one of my favorite topics, many of you that follow us have probably seen me talk about this before or heard it, but it's always a good topic to come back to. I see dogs all the time that are still receiving the chemical, preventatives for fleas and ticks. And the thing is, with all the dogs in my life these days, I've been able to see very successfully and honestly, successfully treating fleas, making sure that there aren't any in this house, none of the dogs are itching and gnawing, and we do it all naturally. And we've been doing it now for, I think it's been 3 years since we had our last chemical treatment in the house when there was like a whole outbreak, So once in a while, those things are necessary. You have them at the house, and maybe once in a while, if nothing else works, then you've got that. But especially as we get into this spring and then into summer season, it is the time to have this conversation, because now all the pests are starting to come, right, and bother our dogs. So I was going to share with you basically the 3 steps, kind of 3 lines of defense that we use around here and that I share with my clients all the time. And again, it works. And so, yes, it's not as easy as giving that preventative once a month, but please know the toxicity level in those preventatives is extremely harmful for our pets. There's a reason why they say it's 2 out of 3 dogs these days are succumbing to cancer, and those preventatives are a big reason of why. So please just do your research, try it on, see, if nothing else, stretch out the preventatives that you're giving, the toxic, the chemical ones. Stretch those out, put several more months in between, at least double the time that it guides you, and then do some natural in between. So that said, I wanted to get into it here and show you a few things. I've got lots of show and tell. I'm backed up from the camera, so I've got to get a little closer to you. Hi guys, hi Maria and Liv Preet and Rena. Thank you for being here. As you join on, everyone, please let me know that you're here and give a thumbs up or something, and let me know. And then if you're willing to share this out with the world, there's so many dogs out there, and obviously fleas and ticks are an issue for all of us. So this is really important information, and it will save a lot of dogs' lives. So I appreciate your support and getting the word out. So there we have it. Hi, Liv Preet. Good morning, ladies. Flea, yeah, we're going to talk about that too. So 3 lines of defense, as I said. The first one is absolutely nutrition. You cannot talk about pest prevention without first really addressing that. That is the most important thing you can do, because that will build a natural defense around, or kind of within and around, your dog. And good nutrition is absolutely key. That's a reason why many animals will get pests on them, is because they're just usually eating kibble, and a lot of times a very low grade kibble. So kibbles like the dry little nuggets like these. Told you, lots of show and tell today. So that's what that's all about. And no matter what kibble you're getting, even if you're getting the top of the line like Origins, or this one in front of me is Akana. You might recognize some of these brands. And there's many good top of the line kibbles. Yet they have to heat the kibble to such a degree that it will and does kill all the life that's within it. And so really, even if you're buying the very best kibble out there, it isn't able to meet the nutritional needs and the optimum flora, because it's really about the gut flora, that is going to give your dog that force field, that natural force field. So if you can up the nutrition, even if you just do it through the maybe like March to October, if that's all you can do. And I'm going to show you a few different ways here to do it, to boost your nutrition for your animals very easily also. So that's the first thing. So here's lots of different ways to feed, because we have boarding here, as many of you know. And with that boarding, we have, of course, we're feeding the dogs whatever they're eating at home. And we've got all kinds of different dogs in the house right now with different menus. So that'll be nice to show you all of this. And here on the set today, we have Graham and Benny, and this is Jake. He's on a tether because he's in training, and he's doing great. He looks like Benny though, doesn't he? For a while here, we had 4 little white fluffers like this, and no one could tell the difference between any of them. And they all are very attentive today because I have all this food sitting out, you see. So anyway, so back to nutrition. We're talking about natural flea defense. Let me know that you're here. That's what we're talking about today. And I'm going to show you now a few different ways to feed that will boost the nutrition of all your furry friends. So this individual is getting some kibble. Jake's going to be very interesting through this process. No, you have to sit down. Go back. No. Okay, so this is just some regular kibble. So I'm going to stand up and show you a few of these things. So this is just some kibble, as I showed, the Acana brand. That's a good one. And then what we've done here on top is just add some of these freeze-dried nuggets. So see these little guys, you can crumble them over the top. These have all kinds of nutrients in them, especially, all the raw meats and the muscles, the bones, the ligaments, the organ meat, and then lots of veggies and fruits. They have all kinds of good stuff in these. This particular brand, if you're curious, is called Northwest Naturals. And they have several different varieties, different, recipes and meats and ingredients. I know, babies. I will give you treats when we're all finished up. I promise. You'll get to eat all of this. So that's a great way to really just add that boost on top of the kibble if that's what you're feeding. And whether you're adding something on top of the kibble or not, definitely, no matter what, two things to do is add oil and water. Because in order for that kibble to be shelf stable, they have to remove all the water and dehydrate it, as well as remove the oil so it doesn't go rancid in your closet or in the garage or wherever it might be sitting. So oils to add, these are some good ones. Any oils, really any good clean oils that you're eating are typically good. Do a little research if you're going off to something kind of unique, something different than what we're mentioning, but in general, all good. So this is just some good virgin olive oil. Then you've got coconut oil. You can't do wrong with coconut oil. Every dog is going to benefit from this. Every human is going to benefit from coconut oil. But just a dollop of that, do go high. They can have a lot. There's a lot of fat removed from the foods, the kibbles. So I would say, for a 30-pound dog, you can easily do a heaping teaspoon. And then for a 60-pound dog, a tablespoon, and up from there. So coconut oil, adding to it is really great. Hi, everyone. You're a little further away, so I could try to have, you can't really see it anyway, can you? I was trying to have some visuals here, so I backed the camera way up, but now I can't see all y'all's. So sorry about that, but I'll get a little closer here in a minute and be able to answer some questions. But, okay, so we've got the virgin olive oil, we've got some coconut oil, or this is a really good one, cod liver oil. This is Finley's, one of our guests. That's a great supplement. No, Jake. No. Afterwards. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy, Jakey. Oh, thank you for the kisses. So, oil on top and then some water. All of us have usually one of these, but your electric tea kettle. So just pour that right over, make it hot or warm, pour it over. Obviously make sure it's not too hot when you serve it to your dog, but adding some pure, your clean, your filtered water into that, heat it up, add the oil. Now you're already on your way to more nutrition. But then if you add some of these little guys, and there's many different varieties. Oh no, I missed one. I must have left it in the kitchen. So this is the other thing, though I had it in a bowl, but here we go, just in a bag. This is Small Batch, another brand that is wonderful, local to our Southern California area, but readily available in most natural pet stores. That's where you'll find most all of these things. So these little nuggets, no, Jake, no. Maybe I do need to back that table up a little bit. Live animals on the set with food. Never a great combination. So these little patties are dried, freeze-dried. Yeah, freeze-dried. Sometimes they're air-dried. Sometimes they're dehydrated. So always a little different with these different brands. Jake, no. And this is something also that has, amazing ingredients in here. All the meats and then organic everything. Squash, celery, cauliflower, green beans, bok choy, apple cider vinegar. It goes on and on. Wheatgrass, garlic, thyme, oregano, bee pollen. All of these foods, or many of these foods that I just mentioned, are specific foods to help prevent fleas naturally. When your dog ingests those foods, the fleas aren't interested. And again, building the force field. So this is small batch, and these are some little patties that you can do. And some dogs, you can feed them just that, just the patty. We have Chloe here, who's one of our beloved regulars, and she gets 5 of those crumbled patties with water and then her supplements and some things like that. So another option, these are just options of dog food we're talking about to be able to boost the nutrition of your pups. So this one I really like. It comes in this package. It's called Ollie. Maybe you can see the name down here. So it's called Ollie, O-L-L-I-E. It is a newer brand, I believe, and what you do is you go online and you pick what your dog's specific needs are, and then they will send you out what's best suited for your pup. So this one, they come in these little packages like this. They even come with this whole little container in the lid. It's really great. And then you will divide them up into, whatever serving size, and it looks like this. Let me get my spoon so I can poke it a little bit for you. So it looks like this. So it looks like kind of ground beef with some veggies and things in it. But you can see the whole chopped veggies in there. Oh, sorry, that wasn't helpful for you to see, was it? So this is wonderful, wonderful food, very balancing. All of these, you can see, as long as we're bringing in life, we're bringing in freshness, we're bringing in things that need to be refrigerated in many cases. Obviously, the freeze-dried and things like that are a little different, but once you add that water back in, you really are bringing in a lot of that life back. So that's the key. So totally fresh here. We've got raw, which as you can see already has a bite out of it. There was meat right there 10 minutes ago before I started. But Jake got over there. This is his favorite. So this is a pre-packaged raw. It has all the bones and all the meats and the ligaments, all the stuff I mentioned, the organ meat, very important, as well as some other foods. You can get it, of course, without additional foods like fruits and veggies, or you can get it with that. And this particular brand is also small batch. It doesn't come in this bag. It comes in a tube, but this is that same brand, just so you know it. They're awesome. And there's another really good brand in our area. There's, again, many, but one is Answers. If you've never fed that food and you're interested in raw, that's definitely one to check out as well, like Questions and Answers. It comes in a carton. So in your natural pet food stores, all of these will kind of be found in that same area, certain over by the refrigerators, but kind of in that whole same area. And then the last show and tell for food today, again, we could go on and on because you can really mix it up these days. There's so many awesome options. But this is one of my faves. You guys know I talk about this one all the time. It's the Honest Kitchen. It comes dehydrated like this, so it's a powder. It's like oatmeal. And there's many different varieties. There's select ingredients, limited ingredient diet, lid diet, for those that prefer that. Their label looks like this. This is a little container that you can get. If you go into the natural pet stores, they will have these ones, and you can just sample it out. Sometimes they'll even have little bags of samples for you. And then the Honest Kitchen typically comes in a box. And then you rehydrate it. You add your kettle water, and you just, I can do it now because they're going to eat right after we're done here. And then you just stir it in, and this is how you do that. And then what I love to do, and we do a lot of here, is create this as the base, the Honest Kitchen base, and then add different foods on top. And you can, of course, add fresh foods right out of your fridge. Lots of veggies that you're eating, or meats that you might be eating, and other things depending on what your dog needs. So those are just a few ways to feed your pup, and the point of all of this is natural flea prevention, and how we're preventing them naturally is building the force field from within. A very healthy animal you create when you give them this kind of food. As you can see, look how different it looks than just the kibble. And this is, again, very high quality kibble, but look at how different and much more vibrant this food is. So that just shows you right there what it's going to do to our friends. He's demonstrating that once in a while they still do get itches. No, lay down, stay with us. Stay with us, Grail. Yeah, we're on live. All right, so that is our first step to natural flea prevention, is really good food. Second is a flea comb. Different line here, different topic. Well, same topic, but different kind of category altogether. But this little guy is full of hair since it's used a lot, and it is very handy. So this is the one to get. Hi, Edmund. Hi, Molly. Great to have you guys here. Oh, yay, Jean. Fantastic. Maybe Juliet is with you too. So this flea comb, you want the metal kind. They come in plastic too. Plastic's no good. Plastic in general, we don't need more of, but also you can't clean it very well. Because what I like to do is, so this side, you know, the wider side is not so much for the fleas. That's for more just small things that you have to comb, like somebody had goop in their eye yesterday, so I was able to really delicately pull that out with this little comb. But what you're really looking for are the tighter teeth. And when these teeth are together like this, you can comb across the dog and it'll comb off the fleas. So what you want to do is, after you're outside, maybe you've gone to the park, you've gone hiking or something, then when you get home, you just give your dog a little flea comb and flea combing. So you definitely want to do it back here at the hind end. And I haven't flea combed Jake in a while because nobody is having any fleas around here, thankfully. But how you would do it, how you would do it, just stay. It's okay. All right. Maybe Benny will demonstrate for you. Okay. Jake, let's show how we flea comb, buddy. Okay. So then back here, you would, he loves it, as you can tell. So back here, we would go across and just get down to the skin and then pull up, and you will see, if there's fleas, you'll see them right there. And definitely all around the hips, the butt, right above the tail. You guys know that's a hot spot. Down the thighs. Just give it a gentle comb. It's nice, it's a nice bonding thing for your dog. If you're not completely unfamiliar with it, they might like it. Oh, he gave it a kiss, so I think he's accepting this flea comb in his life. So you do that, and then what I do is have a cup of water here to the side of really hot water, because then once you have the flea on there, you just dip it in there. The flea comes off, it dies, and then you just go back to your process. Because fleas can jump like, 6 to 10 feet. They can just jump, so they will jump right off your comb, pew, across the house. So you want to catch them before that happens, of course, and just dip it in. So that's the second line of defense. First was nutrition. Second is a flea comb, a good metal flea comb. And you do that every time you come back in from being outside, especially if you're dealing with the fleas right now and you're trying to get them off. That's the time. When the dogs don't have any fleas like ours, we don't use that much. But, then if somebody's itching or something, I'll kind of start going to it. And then our third line of defense, as you might have heard of, is my Flea Flower Essence. I absolutely love this stuff, and it's not just because I make it and I believe in it, but I love it because it works, and it works well. And I continue every day, honestly, to receive feedback from clients and from customers that are using the Flea, and it's the best. They say their dog has not had any pests since. We do have several bottles of our Flea out on the East Coast, and we're testing it out to see how it's doing with ticks, because we don't have a lot of ticks out here, but so far so good. And so what you do, let me explain a little bit about what this Flea is. So it's the base, the brand, I should say, of the flower essences that I use is Australian bush flower essences. What are they? Are exactly that. They are they take clippings from the flowers, specific flowers that hold certain energy properties and certain healing properties, and they create water with that, and under the sunlight, and certain times of day, and certain clean waters and things like that. And then the essence of the flowers goes into the water, and that creates this healing liquid, this balancing liquid. It's really all about vibrational healing, and I know that sounds a little bit far out for some, and especially how is that going to help with the flea? But just think of the fact that all of creation, everything is vibration at its most subtle level. And certainly live beings are vibration and energy at their most subtle level. And when we can alter that energy slightly, sometimes it works together and sometimes it doesn't. Think of like instruments in an orchestra. If one of the instruments is out of tune, right, the music doesn't sound so good. And then they just fix it up a little bit, and you're right back into that fluid, beautiful flow of harmony. Well, with fleas, what we want to do is create a little discord there so they're unattracted to our animals. And that's what we do with this flea. So so what I do, just to back up a little bit, is I have created a custom formula, a proprietary blend of certain flowers. So the stock bottles where I get the original formula from are these essences like this, and then each bottle is hand formulated, and then it comes out looking just in this little blue bottle here. It is, so this is what would be sent to you. It's got our little Sama Dog sticker, and it's just a completely clear, tasteless, smellless liquid. So you would just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on every single meal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you guys can't really see those bowls so well, I don't think. But I just added 1 drip to each of those, and that's it. The most important thing, though, is that you do stay consistent. It is extremely important that consistency is there in order for the flea essences to work. So every meal, you just have that right by your feeding station, put some drops in, and you're all good. So again, it's tasteless, it's odorless, it's safe for humans. It literally tastes like nothing. And there is a tiny, tiny bit of brandy, just a few drops of brandy in there as the preservative, very safe for our animals, even long term. It's fine because it's a very small amount. And because it's tasteless and flavorless and whatnot, smellless, your animals don't mind it one bit. They don't even notice that it's in there. So what you can do also is put like 1 drop in the water. That's what we do, is every time we fill the big water bowls, just put 1 drop in that water. So they're always having a little bit of it, and then each of them receive it every day. And the most important part too is that the animal is flea free before you start the blend, before you start this. Now, it just won't work otherwise. So once the fleas are off, then you can work with the vibration to tune to the body and help boost the health. The flea is also very helpful for all the skin issues. I have several people and dogs that I've been talking with that they have like seasonal allergies, and the flea is helping so much with that because it has many of the same flowers that I would formulate for allergy blends or skin issues as well. Same exact ingredients. So it's a great item to have around the house and to give it a shot. And why? Because I love it so much, I like to put it on sale at the beginning of spring so that everybody can stock up for those that want, so that you can utilize it for the rest of the year, at least through the summer. So right now the sale on these 15 milliliter bottles are 2 of them for $40, so 20% off. And these are the 30 milligram bottles, and these are 2 for $60, 20% off. And 1 small bottle, the 15 milliliters, will last a month for any dog. And that's the other good thing. If your dog is older or a puppy or is giant, like my Violet, you know, a big giant dog or a smaller dog, everybody gets the same dosage and it works for all of them. And I can tell you with Violet, it's our burner doodle. Many of you know her. She got very thick hair. She came into our house with fleas. And so I was like, oh, I don't know if the flea's strong enough to work through this. So we did a lot of bathing and flea combing in the beginning and getting her really cleaned out. We boosted her nutrition because she was eating kibble in the beginning only. And we started with the flea, and she hasn't had a flea since. Honestly, so it's been amazing. And so that's why I get so passionate about this, again, is because there's so many dogs out there that are receiving all these chemical treatments, and it's unnecessary. Maybe you saw the video that went around on Facebook like last week of a dog that was having seizures from one of the flea medications. So, and it's just so heartbreaking to see. And that dog was not okay again for the rest of its life, had to be on different medications, and it triggered a ton of health problems. And that is way more common than we think. And it is, I have to say, much more common than most vets are telling us about, because they sell these products and it doesn't always hurt our dog. And there's some research that it works, and that's the perspective that the vets will take. And that's what we want to be able to empower ourselves to move away from. So, natural flea prevention, totally possible. Nutrition, the first line of defense. Flea combs, our second line of defense. And flea, our third line of defense. There are many others. There's many other foods or ways in which you can treat your yard and things like that. But this is what we do, and this is what works for us. And we've got a lot of animals around here, and we go out into nature every day. We've got a big backyard, and we're successfully pest-free around here. So that's why I'm so passionate about sharing it with all of you, because I hope to inspire that for your packs as well. So now I want to get a little closer to the screen. You've been such a good boy, Jakey. Very nicely done. Very nicely done, Mister. Here, I will give you some of this when we're done. I'm afraid if I give him a piece now, he's going to get, wanting a lot more. So let me move you a little closer. And I can take some questions if there are any. Maria, hello. Oh, I'm so glad to have you with us. And Gina, fantastic. Trish, Lola, I go there too for Vita. Oh, Lola must have said something earlier. She's responding back to Dexter's has Honest Kitchen. That's what Lola was saying. Yep, Dexter's Deli is an amazing place here in San Diego. 3 locations, natural pet food stores. Papology's also great. There's many that are carrying these great food brands now. And actually, the Honest Kitchen is even carried at, I saw it at Sprouts and stores like that. So they're moving beyond just pet stores, which is fantastic. The bag you held up, couldn't read the name, green and white bag. Green and white bag is small batch. I know it's backwards because it's on Facebook Live. But the small batch has this, which is the freeze-dried patties, but they also have they have the fresh frozen raw, and so they have little patties and bigger patties that you just freeze and you de-thaw as needed, that sort of thing. Great brand also. You know, my niece works at Papology now, and she just took a class yesterday all about small batch. So she was sharing with me the 2 pages of notes that she took on the course, and she was explaining how differently, and I won't get into all those details now, but maybe on a different Facebook Live, but how differently meat for dogs and meat for human is prepared, and how important that we think like, oh, dogs can just have whatever, their systems can handle it. But the thing is, humans cook their meat, and therefore bacteria will come off. Where dog food, raw dog food, you know, that stays raw, obviously is not cooked, and therefore it can't have those bacterias. You know, yes, dogs have a different digestive system, but they're not able to still process that, which is unnatural. So the processing system and the company through which you get your supplies from is very important. So that's a really good one. Answers, again, is another great one. There's also, well, you guys know probably a lot of them, but there's one particular one I'm trying to think of, which is not in my mind right now. Primal, that's the one I was trying to think of. Primal's got some great food, raw foods. Halcyons, that's another one that your natural pet stores will have likely. Back it up, Jakey. I know Jake is silly, isn't he? He's doing so well, though. If you guys would have seen him, we'll have to be careful about loose bowels. Well, not so much, as long as you go gradually. Just make sure that any transitionist food is done over a week to 2 weeks. And that, I would say, is the number one thing that we humans don't follow, the instruction that we don't follow. Because we're excited. We want to give our dog the better food, and we just got it, and they're enjoying it, and it smells wonderful, so why not? But the reason is because, as Leslie Ann said, we will see a little bit of diarrhea or looseness or just like gurgly belly in that case, because it's, you know, it's very different for them. Yes, they love it. Yes, it's high quality, but it is different than what they're used to. Let's see, just reading through your comments here. Very good. Does anyone have any questions about it? Let's see, Trish, do you mean AHC? Oh, they're talking about the vets, I think, here. Yeah, the different vets in the area. Does Flea work for mosquitoes? Maria's in Wisconsin. Yes, as far as I know, what Flea is doing is creating that force field, as we said, which fends back everything. So whether it's fleas or ticks or mosquitoes or even spiders, they're staying back from our dogs more and more. And as I said, we don't have a lot of ticks here in San Diego, but we do have a lot of fleas. I mean, crazy amounts of fleas. And we do have a lot of mosquitoes these days. So our animals, again, have been well protected from that. And when the dogs come in through the boarding, even through the B&B, I'm always giving them flea as well, because again, it's so gentle, it's so effective, it won't have any adverse effects. And I just see, we're just never struggling, we're never facing that issue anymore over here. And it was something that, on a daily basis, I mean, you guys might know how a house can get infested and everything else. So very unpleasant experience. All right, my friends. Well, I hope you picked up some good tips today. And even, no matter what you're feeding, even if you just do a little alteration, add a little bit more life and prana, as the yoga teaching would call it, that life force energy, that's what we're bringing into the food. And that's what helps us to thrive, no matter what our species. So thank you so much for being here today. I was just reading the comment as well. Can we use Bragg's nutritional yeast? Yeah, for bees, mosquitoes. Yes, nutritional yeast I've heard is very good for pest prevention as well. You would just buy that at your, human food store and add a little bit of that. Apple cider vinegar is also very good. A lot of these products actually have it in there, or you just add like a lid full or a half of a lid full if you have a tiny dog to the food. Dogs don't mind the taste of the apple cider vinegar. I'm always surprised because it is quite strong, as we know, but most dogs are okay with it. If your dog's a little hesitant, just do like 1 drop in the beginning, get them used to the smell, but then they're pretty open to it. And apple cider vinegar is good for so many things. That's good for the gut, obviously, and the skin and the brain and the joints, and obviously for building that pest prevention. I usually use Wondercide sprays, but your product can be used with other products also, correct? Yes, Rena, definitely. Flea is ideal to use with other products because of its gentle nature. And when the fleas get intense, or if your animal's in a very populated area of pests, then yes, you might need a few lines of defense. Another one we do here, just to mention, is diatomaceous earth. That's a natural element, you could say, or a natural product. It's like a dirt, like a powder, and we will sprinkle that all over our back patios and then brush it in between all the pavers. We have the pavers out there that have the cracks in between, so you brush it all in there, and fleas apparently really hate that, so you can put that through the garden, but it's actually a good thing. You can feed it to animals. It's actually a good thing to boost health. So those kinds of products, it's a win-win all around. All right, my friends, if you have any other questions, or for anyone that's listening to this afterwards, don't hesitate to let me know. Ask, I'll keep my eyes. You can buy Flea on samadog.com under our products page. You'll see it there on sale, and I will post the link below as well. We wish you a wonderful rest of your weekend and many days of pest freedom and ease around the house with all your furry friends. Lots of love. Namaste. See you next time.